Yeah, we stopped at the hadith of we started with the chapter number 3, the nature and cleansing of the najasa. Then we spoke about the hadith. We mentioned the hadith which is narrated by Anas ibn Malik. Allah Messenger was asked about making vinegar out of alcohol. He said no. And Khair inshallah. So the Prophet was asked about making vinegar out of alcohol and he said no. Last time when I spoke about this hadith, the brother had objections. One of the brothers who was here, he said I said that alcohol is haram, prohibited, except at the time of necessity. At the time of necessity you can use it as cure, as drink. So
someone also asked me on this issue is what about some people that have arthritis where the bones start to hurt in the thing and they have to smoke marijuana. The doctor gives them marijuana to smoke a quantity to prevent that. Is that permissible?
If it's
smoke a bong, bro.
Yeah. Well, haram is haram, and unless it's necessity. When someone is sick, that is necessity. Yeah. And that is include everything except some people say alcohol. Alcohol is exempted from this.
Exception.
There is exception about alcohol. They say because the brother last time, if you remember, he mentioned the hadith. The hadith of one hadith is narrated by Muslim that the Prophet was asked about alcohol and he forbade it. So someone said it is cure. We use it as cure. He said no, it's not cure. It's a disease. This hadith here, it's true, it's narrated by Muslim, but it's the narration of Simak ibn Harb. Simak ibn Harb, there is two different opinions about him. It's narrated as well by Hamad ibn Salama. Simak ibn Harb, there is two different opinions about him. Some people say he is trustworthy, some say he is not. Ahmad ibn Hanbal say he is not trustworthy. It's not trustworthy. When we say it's not trustworthy, doesn't mean that he is a liar, or it does mean we can't rely on his narrations because of his memory or for other reasons. Now Simak ibn Harb, Ahmad ibn Hanbal said you can't rely on his narration. Abu Hatim said that, Ibn Ammar said that, Sufyan Thawri said that, Shu'bah said that, Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Qattan said that. Other people said you can rely on his narration. Now those who say you can rely on his narrations as well put some condition. They say because he became old and he didn't know what he was saying, so we can't take every hadith, but we can rely on the hadith that was narrated by the people who narrated from him when he was still young, like Sufyan al-Thawri and Shu'bah. But Sufyan al-Thawri and Shu'bah said he is weak. Sufyan al-Thawri said he is not trustworthy. Shu'bah said, I saw him كان يقبل التلقين. This means someone will tell him, he will narrate a hadith that is narrate the saying of Ibn Abbas, and someone will tell him Akrima from Ibn Abbas, from the Prophet has said this, and he will repeat it after him. And someone who accepts this, someone who does this, his hadith is rejected, is not accepted. So, and then when the people who choose to where there is a different opinion about someone, some people choose like Ibn Hajar, like the latest people, they don't want to make a decision. They say, oh, big people like Ahmed and Ibn Ma'in and Ali ibn Madini had different opinions. We shouldn't now make the judgment. These people had different opinions. We can't judge between them. That's what they say. And what they do, they say we shouldn't reject either the statement of these people or the statement of these people. So some people are saying you have to take all his hadith. Some people say you shouldn't take his hadith at all. They say we shouldn't reject these people and we shouldn't reject these people. We have to take all of them. How can you do that? They said we make him in between, Hasan, in the middle. And the truth here, what they have done, they have rejected both statements. They say he is not trustworthy. They say he is not weak. And these people said some people said he is trustworthy and he is weak. And that is wrong way. You either stop and do not make any decision here, or you have to look at the person yourself and make this decision. Some people think that, that time is gone when you can make this decision. If there is different opinion about someone, it has to say like this forever. That is wrong. Now here, even the people who say we take the hadith of Simak ibn Harb and likewise the people who are in the middle, Hasan, what they say we take these people's hadith as long as he doesn't contradict the hadith that is narrated by someone who is stronger than him. Take this hadith, not this hadith, but the hadith the brother mentioned last time, that alcohol is not cure only at the time of necessity, of course. These contradict the Quran, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He has forbidden all the food that has been forbidden, whether it's swine meat, whether it's dead meat, whether it's alcohol, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said وَقَدْ فَصَّلَ لَكُمْ مَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ. He has explained in details what is forbidden for you, except in time of necessity. So at the time of necessity, when someone is going to die or is sick, to save himself from death, he is allowed to eat pork, he is allowed to eat dead meat and drink alcohol. Yes.
Afwan Sheikh, maybe you have been over this hadith before, but I wasn't here. If you have, isn't there a hadith the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't put a cure in something He's made haram for you?
Yeah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمْ يَجْعَلْ شِفَاءَكُمْ فِي مَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ.
Hadith Sahih.
This is another hadith narrated by Salama. This hadith is this hadith is narrated by Ahmed. And the problem with people here, when someone speaks about hadith, like Ibn Hazm said this hadith is da'if, and he said it's da'if because it's the narration of Sulaiman bin Abi Sulaiman Shaybani. This hadith is narrated by Sulaiman bin Abi Sulaiman Shaybani from Hassan bin Mukhariq from Salama. So Ibn Hazm said it's da'if because of Sulaiman bin Abi Sulaiman, because he is majhul, he is unknown. Sulaiman bin Abi Sulaiman is not majhul, is unknown. He didn't know him, but he is known. So people will come to the hadith and look at this. Ibn Hazm is wrong. Sulaiman bin Abi Sulaiman is known. So this hadith should be sahih. No, it's not. Doesn't work like this. You should go to the whole isnad. Now, why Ibn Hazm made it da'if is wrong. But there is another person here called Hassan ibn Mukhariq. This person is unknown, because he has you can't find him in any book. Nobody has spoken about him. So he is unknown. And that's why this hadith is da'if. When someone like this person, who nobody knows him, bring a rule like this, that Allah has not made your cure in anything that He has forbidden, these contradict the Quran. How? Hunger is illness. It's illness that everybody knows the cure for it. That's why people don't go to the doctor. Sometimes you need to go to the doctor. Thirst is an illness. The cure of it is to drink. And Allah has made our cure, if you are hungry and there is no halal, in the dead meat, in the flesh of the swine. This is in Quran. So this hadith clearly contradicts the Quran. Hadith that contradict the Quran, even partly, not fully, shouldn't be taken, except like someone. No, if it's partly contradicting, which is the exception, it can be taken like Malik, from Bukhari, from Ahmed, not from unknown people. There is another hadith which is narrated by Yunus bin Abi Ishaq, and say that the Prophet has forbidden the impure medicine. نهى رسول الله عن الدواء الخبيث. There is many things why we should reject this hadith as well. One of the reasons is Yunus bin Abi Ishaq is weak. Not weak anonymously, but he is weak. So this is the hadith that we stopped at last time. The hadith is narrated by Muslim, but in it there is someone called Simak ibn Harb, and in a different narration there is Hammad ibn Salama. So we go to the next hadith. The next hadith is narrated by Anas ibn Malik. He said, on the day of Khaybar, Allah Messenger commanded Abu Talha to announce. Abu Talha is the stepfather of Anas ibn Malik. The Prophet commanded him to say, to announce, Allah and His Messenger have prohibited for you the flesh of the domesticated donkeys, for it is impure. The domestic donkeys were forbidden on the day of Khaybar. This hadith is narrated by so many Sahaba. The hadith muttafaqun alayh, agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim, and you find it in the 6 books. It is narrated by Abu Tha'lab al-Khushani, by Anas bin Malik, Jabir bin Abdullah, by many Sahaba anyway. Yes.
You said they must
domesticated. Domesticated donkey is the donkey that people have in their houses. These that lives with human being. No, because there is the donkey which is the wild donkey. It's not the zebra. The zebra probably comes underneath, but the one that they used to know, it's something similar to the zebra, but it has no. It looks like the donkey, and it is halal. Almost, except by 2 people, 2 tabi'in who said it's da'if, it's haram, because they did Qiyas. And Tahawi here said the domesticated donkey should be halal, should be halal, because generally anything that is haram when it's domestic is haram when it's wild, like the swine. I said, so this really, it's an issue. He didn't know the answer for it, because why the wild donkey is halal while the domestic is haram. The Prophet has clearly said, forbidden the domestic donkey's flesh, and he didn't say anything about the wild. And this is the majority opinion, that the wild donkey is not haram. There is hadith in Bukhari from Abu Qatada, that he hunted a wild donkey while they were going to Hudaybiyah, in the Ghazwat Hudaybiyah. He was the only one without ihram. His companions were with ihram. So when he hunted it, they had suspicion about eating it. They thought, okay, we are in state of ihram, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden for the people who are going to Hajj, well, instead of Ihram or Umrah to hunt. When they asked the Prophet, he ordered them to eat. Now here Ibn Abbas has contradicted the Sahaba and said that the donkey is halal. It is the opinion of Ibn Abbas that the donkey meat is halal.
All of them?
Yeah,
including the domestic?
Yeah, domestic. It's not about the wild. Domestic. He says it's halal. He came with this. There is another hadith from Abu Rafi' from Abdullah bin Abi Awfa. When the donkey was made haram, the Sahaba had different opinions. They said why it was haram. Some said it's because it's eating dirt. They used to eat dirt. So they said probably the Prophet has made it haram because of this. Other people said no. It's because people took them as war booty and never divided them. They never took the fifth, which you have to take from the war booty. Some people said no. It is because it's the people use them as a way of transport, and the Prophet was afraid that all the donkeys will perish. They will eat all the donkeys and they will have no way of transport. There is something, this last opinion, something to strengthen this opinion. If it was, we don't look at causes in religion, we don't do Qiyas, and therefore we don't look at the causes. But this opinion here, there is hadith narrated by Bukhari and Muslim, that someone came to the Prophet and the day of Khaybar and said the donkeys has finished, and then the Prophet sent the Sahaba to call people and say the donkey is haram, is forbidden. Some people may use this. We don't look at the reason why he said the statement. We look at the statement only. The statement said Allah and His Messenger has prohibited the flesh of donkey because it's impure. He didn't give any reasons. We shouldn't look for the reasons. He said it's impure, it's haram, and that's it. It is the opinion of Malik and the followers of Malik as well, that the donkey, they have in their madhab different opinions, but majority of the Malikis believe the donkey is only makruh, it's not haram. And this hadith clearly contradicts that, and the reason that the Prophet has said is because it's rijs, impure. It's not because it's the way of transport, it's not for any other reason. Actually, those people who say it's because it is the way of transport and the Prophet was afraid that it will finish, they will have no donkeys to they will have no donkeys, they will have no the transport will finish. They don't have things to transport on. This is clearly wrong, because Jabir bin Abdullah narrated from the Prophet that the Prophet the day of judgment, the day of Khaybar, has forbidden the donkeys and allowed the slaughtering of horses, and they are much more needed than the donkeys, and they didn't have horses in Medina. The Sahaba didn't have many horses. If you remember the Battle of Badr, when the Kafir came with hundreds of horses, the Sahaba had 2 horses. That's all show us that we shouldn't really. When we have a statement from the Prophet, you just have to take it the way it is and not look at causes. So
you said the majority of the ulama said that they took the opinion that it's only the domesticated.
Yes.
From the hadith.
Yes. But the hadith says domesticated.
Yeah, so the majority of scholars
is it. Alhamdulillah, here nobody has done qiyas. And some people have done qiyas and made the horse haram. because it's similar to the donkey. If the donkey was haram because of its way of transport, then the horse should be made haram as well. It's more.
But Rasul didn't say because it's important. Did he say
the way of transport.
he said الحمار الوحشي is
No, the Prophet didn't say it.
He didn't say it.
Most of the Qiyas people, the Prophet will not say anything. People will extract the illah. Most of Qiyas. If you can't say it's 99% where people do Qiyas, the Prophet will not say the reason. They will look and
extrapolate,
like extract it from This is similar here. The Sahaba were asking for reason why the donkey is, and they had different opinions. And that's what you see as well in Qiyas. People have different opinions, and that's why the majority of Qiyas is not agreed on. They agree on Qiyas in general, but where Abu Hanifa does Qiyas, Maliki doesn't. Where Malik does, Shafi'i doesn't. And following hadith, the next hadith is narrated by Amr ibn Kharija, that Allah Messenger delivered a khutbah to us at Mina while mounted on his camel, and its saliva was dripping on my shoulder. Amr ibn Kharija says,
just excuse me, Sheikh. Someone left this sticker last week. I don't know if it's anyone of you. No. Okay. Any inquiries? I've got it upstairs. Yeah?
So Amr ibn Kharija said that the Prophet was delivering his sermon at Mina, and the saliva from the camel was dripping on his shoulder. Here he's just trying to say why he put this hadith here to say that the saliva of the camel is clean. This hadith will there is nothing in this hadith to say it's clean or it's unclean. However, it is clean because everything is pure until it is proven otherwise. Since the camel is halal and it's not impure, so everything in the camel will be pure and clean except the thing that the religion, that the Prophet, that Allah in his book or the Prophet has said is unclean.
Does it break your wudu?
To do what?
If the saliva.
Saliva?
Yeah.
From the donkey, from the camel?
Yeah.
Why?
No, I'm just wondering.
That will be qiyas.
Yeah.
The Prophet,
I know if you eat, it breaks your wudu, right?
if you eat meat,
If you eat the camel meat.
if you eat the camel meat, yes. If you eat the camel meat, the Prophet said, تَوَضَّؤُوا مِنْ لُحُومِ الْإِبِلِ, do wudu from the meat of the camels. So from the meat of the camels, not the fat, not the milk, not the saliva. And so eating the camel meat will break your wudu. And this is, even though the madhahib are don't take this hadith. The Hanafis, Shafi'is and Malikis don't take this hadith. It's only the Hanbalis and the Zahiris who take this hadith. However, here the Hanbalis say eating the meat will break your wudu, drinking the milk will not. And that is right. Because the Prophet mentioned the meat and he didn't mention anything else.
Sorry, I was actually told this by my granddad. I mean, till now I don't know. I've been asked this question. Is that true that they use camel's urine as medicine?
The Prophet, there is hadith in Bukhari and Muslim from Anas bin Malik that a group of people came to the Prophet and then they got sick. The Arab, the Bedouins, are not used to live in the cities. So these people, when they came to Medina, generally any Arab who came to Medina, they get sick at the beginning. So when the Prophet saw them and they were a group of people sick, he sent them outside. He sent them with the shepherd. The Prophet had camels coming from the sadaqah, what people give as zakat. And for this sadaqah, he had a shepherd he will take them out of Medina, because you can't keep camels in Medina where there is no food, where there is nothing. So he take them outside. The Prophet ordered them to go with the shepherds and to drink from the milk and from the urine of the camel. That is time of necessity. These people were sick. Some madhahib, some fuqaha take this as proof to say the urine of the camels and any eaten food, any eaten meat, animals, that it's clean and pure, and that is, there is no proof here because these people were sick. And when someone is sick, you have like someone who is on drug, and then you want to give him medicine. If you withdraw the drugs one time, this may affect him mentally and physically. So the doctors, what they will do, they will withdraw it like gradually, give him portions, small portions, until they withdraw it from him altogether. Same thing with this people who the Prophet sent and allowed to drink camel's urine. It's just a way of as cure. It's not. There is nothing in the hadith, in this hadith, to show that urine is halal. Yes, and we said the saliva of the camel should be halal, because camel is halal and it's pure. Not everything that is haram is impure as well. We have the donkey. The Prophet clearly said it's impure, like the swine as well is impure. So if you have saliva of a donkey or saliva of a swine on your hand, then you have to clean it, because you are having something impure on your body. Anything that is a part of unclean thing is unclean. What makes the donkey is skin and meat and fat and saliva and blood. Because it's dirty, unclean, impure, every part of it is impure. You can't say this is pure, this is impure, this is
Does it break the wudu?
Nothing breaks the wudu except the things that you know that it breaks wudu. If you have najasa on your body, you have to clean it. Wudu is something different.
When you touch this, like if you're in this country especially, they're very kind to animals, so if you're touching up the donkey, stroking it, you wash your hand straight up. You should wash your hand after you've touched its skin. Like it's
who says that touching the dirt will make you dirty?
I'm asking.
Yeah, touching, you see, when if something clean comes into contact with something dirty, the dirty doesn't become clean, and the clean doesn't become dirty. Unless you have something, you will stay always, if someone touches something dirty, he is always clean. He has dirt on his, that he must get rid of. But if there is nothing, so wash what? Now if someone had urine on his hand and it dried, he had it on his hand and it dried on his hand, he must clean it. But someone has touched a donkey, why should he clean his hand if there is no sweat on the donkey, or there is no hair on your hand or nothing? Yeah.
I was going to say, Sheikh, you may not necessarily see it transparent on your hand.
The Sharia doesn't consider the things that you don't see. In the Sharia, we don't look at the things that we can't see. It's only the things that you can see. The things that you don't see don't have any hukum.
Influence.
I was going to say, Sheikh, because I work for Royal Mail.
Yeah.
And I'll take a lot of letters out.
Yeah.
And sometimes my hand doesn't look like it's dirty, but I can feel it. I can feel that there's bacteria on it, so I need to wash my hand.
Oh, that is not dirt.
Okay.
That is unanimously not dirt. Dirt is something that is Sharia described as dirty. You see, if someone is working in a garage and with all this black oil on his body, this is not considered to be considered. This is not in Sharia. Is not dirt. This is in all the madahib, all the sects. Don't consider this to be dirty. If you are walking in the field and you are covered with dust, this is not dirt. The land is clean. Everything. The oil is clean. The petrol is clean. So if you come to the mosque, it's just because of the people, because of the carpet, because of it's probably not good to come. Yeah.
But Sheikh, some things have harmful effects.
Like
you know, if you eat with dirty hands,
yeah,
or if you eat with hands that got bacteria,
yeah,
it can have harmful effects.
You are made out of bacteria. You know that. That is bacteria. There is bacteria and bacteria. It's been everybody. The way the if you are used to live in a place where there is dust, where you will be immune to this. If you are living in box of glass, where there is the air is like clean made of you for you special air, and there is no pollution, there is nothing, and then yes, you get sick. And in this case, you have to be careful not to kill yourself. That's all. But it has nothing to do with haram and halal.
But it's better. I think you're asking like this.
I think I accept that because I came from a place where we have so much dust.
Yeah.
And we are sort of immune.
Yeah.
With
yeah,
bacteria.
Yeah.
People, food drop on the floor, they take it and they eat it. To be immune. But when I came here, all these things, start going into my mind, and you really have bacteria.
No, that's you see. You go to the some places in Africa or Australia where they live with these tribes still live in the Aboriginal people. What happens? They have these scorpions. They have these all insects, flies. Now, if you go there, probably if you get stung by one of these, you might die. But because they were stung all their lives, they are immune to this. No, this is what happens. When you are child, they give you injection. What is this injection? Is to put some bacteria in your body, so you get common bacteria so to stop you from. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the religion anyway. This is, you have to go and study it in university.
Sure.
Yes.
Is there hadith talking about the urine of the baby girl? That it's pure?
There is. It will come here, inshallah. Narrated by Aisha, Allah Messenger used to wash the semen and then go out for prayer in that garment. And I could still see the trace of the washing on it. This hadith is muttafaqun alayh, Bukhari and Muslim. Muslim narrated as well, in a different narration, I used to scrap it, meaning the semen, off the garment of Allah Messenger, and then he offered prayer wearing it. In another narration of Muslim as well, she said, verily, Aisha, I used to scrap it, the semen, off his garment with my fingernail while it was dry. So sometimes, according to the hadith, Bukhari and Muslim, sometimes she will scrap it with her fingernail if it's dry. Sometimes she will take it with idkhar, with it's not here, with like grass, while it's still it's not dry. And the Prophet will pray in that garment. According to Abu Hanifa and Malik, the semen is impure, is dirty. Why? Qiyas on urine. According to the Dahiris, to the Hanbalis and Shafi'is, they failed to do Qiyas here. So they say it's clean, even though it's normally with Qiyas it should be unclean. It comes from the same place. If the urine which comes from the same place as semen, we do only wudu for it. for this you take shower, so it should even be even more dirty. But does it not? This is not the way we take Sharia. This is not the way we take religion. Dirty, impure, is what Allah said is impure. What the Prophet said is impure. And here you can see clearly that the Prophet was wearing the clothes that has semen in them. He didn't consider it to be dirty, and he didn't do Qiyas, and he never done Qiyas anyway.
You know, for hadith that you heard, does it mean that at least some cleaning has to take place? At least?
Sorry?
Does it mean that some cleaning has to take place?
Cleaning?
Yeah, like why?
No. That what she did here is actually extra. It wasn't the order of the Prophet. She did it. People will not like to walk in the street with their clothes. You understand? So that's something that she has done. He never ordered her to do that. And even if he ordered her, that will be him ordering his wife to do something. He didn't order people, the ummah, to do something about it. So this is the right opinion, which is the Zahiris, the Hanbalis and the Shafi'is agree on, that the semen is not dirty. From the semen Muslims are made, and they are pure.
Kafirs are made impure.
But they are not impure, and generally, yeah.
Sheikh, some might argue that if it is pure,
Yeah.
why do we need to take
Ghusl?
Come
Because it's command.
Yeah, if it's impure, you should just clean it. You don't have to take ghusl altogether.
No, he's saying
No, I'm saying-
if you have sexual intercourse, why do you need to do ghusl?
Because Allah said that. Because Allah has ordered us to take ghusl for that. For after someone has a janaba. This is the religion. There is no part for the mind, for the intellect, except to understand. The mind is not to change, to correct, to rectify, to bring reasons. It's just to accept what Allah and the Prophet has said and understand it. Yes.
There is a hadith in Muslim and Bukhari. When I first became Muslim, I was reading them. Obviously, I was just reading the translation.
Yeah.
And I took it from the translation that is fard to have ghusl on Yawm al-Jum'ah. And then I was telling one brother, and he said to me, no, it's not, it's sunnah.
We are not talking about ghusl Jum'ah, but they can stop it quickly and say.
Sorry, it's just the point I was trying to make is that I had big debate with him.
Yeah.
Then when I took it to Imam, he read the hadith, and then he said this word, it doesn't mean what he said in the translation. This word means that somebody who's had wet dream, somebody who has ejaculated semen in the night.
Actually, you may have taken the wrong hadith, because the hadith in Bukhari is ghuslu. Okay, that's Imam. I think you take all the right hadith, but the Imam has not doesn't speak Arabic properly. Because the hadith say غسل يوم الجمعة واجب على كل محتلم. The ghusl of the day of Jum'ah is wajib upon everyone who has reached the age of puberty. Doesn't mean everyone who has janaba on the day of Jum'ah.
So it is wajib.
This is wajib, yeah. There is 3 hadith, one after one in Bukhari. The first hadith is the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, that the ghusl yawm al-Jum'ah is wajib, is compulsory. And the other hadith is from Umar ibn Khattab. 3 hadith in Bukhari, one after one. إذا أتى أحدكم يوم الجمعة فليغتسل. Someone who goes to Jum'ah should take a shower. The following hadith, the second hadith is the hadith of Ibn Umar, that Umar ibn Khattab was delivering a sermon on Jum'ah, and one of the old people of the first Muhajirin came in. It's Uthman, but Bukhari didn't mention the name. And then Umar ibn Khattab asked him, this time? You are coming just this time? It means so late? He said, I was so busy that I just came, I didn't do more than the wudu. He said, and not even, you just did the wudu, no ghusl, even though you know that the Prophet used to order us to do ghusl. And then the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, which says the ghusl of Yawm al-Jumu'ah is compulsory upon every muhtalim, mean every adult. The hadith that says فَبِهَا وَنِعْمَةٍ, if you take ghusl Yawm al-Jumu'ah is good, if you don't it's fine, but hadith is da'if. And such hadith, they call it Hasan. And Hasan means, according to the majority, as long as it doesn't contradict something that is stronger. What is more stronger than all this hadith in Bukhari? Anyway, we inshallah we come, while we are going through this book, inshallah we will come across the Jum'ah prayer and ahkam of Jum'ah. The following hadith, the sixth hadith, the following hadith here is the hadith narrated by Abu Samh. Abu Samh said, Allah Messenger said, the urine of a baby girl should be washed off, and the urine of a baby boy should be sprinkled by pouring water over it completely. The hadith of Abu Samh is narrated by Abu Dawud and the Nasa'i. Abu Samh is someone, they say he is Sahabi. But we know Sahaba from the chain of narrators. You see, how do we know Sahaba? We know Sahaba by Tabi'een saying that this man is a Sahabi, and that is with chain of narrators, authentic chain of narrators. Now Abu Samh here has not narrated any hadith except this one. Abu Zur'a, one of the people who know hadith, said Abu Samh never narrated any hadith except this hadith. This hadith is narrated by someone called Yahya ibn al-Walid al-Ta'i from Muhill ibn Khalifa al-Ta'i. And both, you can say that they are unknown. They have spoken about them, and some people made them thiqa, but people who can't really be relied on when they say this person is trustworthy or not. So this hadith should be da'if really. There is similar hadith from Ali bin Abi Talib, narrated as well by Abu Dawud. It's almost same thing, that the baby girl urine should be washed, and the one of the boy should be just sprinkled. The hadith of Abu Ali bin Abi Talib is narrated by Hisham al-Distuwa'i, Hisham bin Abdullah al-Distuwa'i. He is mudallis, trustworthy but mudallis, from Qatada, who is trustworthy but mudallis, from Abil Harb ibn Abil Aswad. These people are all the men of Bukhari and Muslim, except Abu Harb. He is a man of Muslim. But Hisham al-Distuwa'i is mudallis. And Abu Qatada bin Du'ama Sadusi as well is mudallis. And Qatada, as far as I know, in this hadith, he never said haddathana, he heard this hadith from. And the mudallis hadith is not taken until he says where he heard it from. There is two hadiths similar to may look similar to this hadith. One narrated by Bukhari and Muslim from Qais bint Mihsan, that she came with a boy to the Prophet. He put it on his lap, and then he urinated on his lap. The Prophet ordered some water and poured it on his lap, on his clothes. He didn't wash them. The other hadith is from Aisha in Muslim, same thing, that the Prophet called some water and poured it. It may be the same story, narrated by two different people, Qais and Aisha. We have last time, if you remember, when we spoke about the water, how it becomes dirty. We said anything that is clean, should be like the water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said ma'an tahura. No matter what it falls in it, as long as it's water, it's still clean. Now, the other thing is cleaning the clothes. How do you clean your clothes? Sprinkling and cleaning. It looks like they are two different things. You sprinkle, you pour water. And cleaning, it's mean with urine. What are you going to do? Why do you have to do this? Huh? It's why some people just put it in water and then take the water off. And even according to many fuqaha, they say it's not necessary to clean something dirty like urine, something that has like you can't see it. Huh? You say you put it in the water and take it off. Huh? Well, if there is a smell, then you have to make sure that it's not. If there is a color, you have to make sure that it's not. But baby urine, they didn't say. He said urinated. They didn't say one drop or how much. And one drop in water or water in one drop is gone, is dissolved. I told you as before, anything that is dirty doesn't contain, if you break it into ingredients, it doesn't contain anything other than the ingredients that is in the thing that is clean. It came from the body of a human being, so it will have salt in it, it will have iron in it, it will have carbon in it, it will have O2, H, hydrogen, and it's the same as water. It just the way it is composed, it gives it the color or the smell or the taste that it has. When it has changed, you know about people recycling the water that comes from the toilets. They do it in every country, and then it turns into water, and this water is halal because it's water. It's not any more urine. Now, if I give you an example here to understand it better, you see, if I take flour, eggs, milk, sugar, olive oils, and meat, and cook them together, it will give you something very horrible to eat. Olive oil with eggs, with sugar, with meat. It's like a cake with meat. It will be, nobody probably can eat it. But if I put the flour and the eggs and the sugar in one place, make a cake, and then put the meat with the olive oils in another place, and then cook meat, and then I eat meat, afterwards I eat the cake, it's fine. You put them together, you eat them together, you can't even swallow it. At the end it will go to the stomach, it will be in the same place. It's something similar. When you have decomposed that urine to the point where it has doesn't smell, it doesn't look, it doesn't taste the way it was, it's water. So that is what the Prophet has done. There was urine on his lap. He poured water, a lot of water, because they didn't say how much was the urine, if it was drop or so. He must put water until it dissolved. It's not any more urine on his clothes. That is for everything. The girl urine, the man urine, the woman urine, the animal urine, a dog urine, it doesn't matter.
There's a question, I think.
Yes. I didn't know that there is someone here. Bismillah. Please advise about taking a bath. The water is pure. You wash. The water is what? Pure. You wash. Does the water remain clean? Are you clean afterwards? Let me just, inshallah, after this I will talk about this. You understand this? The water is clean. Everybody from the four madhahib who doesn't agree with this, they don't agree just like this generally, that we don't agree. they put a quantity of water, like the Shafi'is say 160 liter, and afterwards you do whatever you want. Or like the Hanafis, they say as long as the water, if you move your hand in one side and it doesn't move, the water doesn't move in the other side, it's fine. So they all agree about the fact that water is clean no matter what you put in it, but they put for that like a quantity. They say it has to be a certain quantity. If it's less, then it will take dirt, it will accept dirt. And now here the sister asking about something that we have spoken about last time. Someone was taking a bath with water. Is this water become dirty? According to the Ahnaf, this water is dirty. According to the Ahnaf, when you do wudu, any water that is remaining from your body, that falls from your body, that water is dirty. You can't drink it. You can't
cook it.
You can't use it as well. Like someone is taking a bath and someone put his hands. When water drops, he do wudu with it. According to the Ahnaf, this is dirty. This contradicts what the Prophet used to do. The Prophet used to do wudu, and the Sahaba will wait for the water and then put it on their bodies. They may say, oh, this is special for the Prophet. But if they say this is special for the Prophet, we know the water is clean. They must bring the proof why it became unclean now. They don't have that proof. Well, there is something that someone may think it's proof. They say the Prophet said that the zakat is forbidden for the family of the Prophet because it is the cleaning. Ghusalat al-nas. Ghusala is the cleaning water. It's the cleaning water of people. So the Prophet said it's forbidden. They say but if you take this hadith, then say the water is dirty, impure for the family of the Prophet, not because we are allowed to take zakat. Everybody else except the family of the Prophet are allowed to take sadaqah, even when they are rich. If you don't ask for it, if someone give it to you, you are allowed to take it and eat it. So they have to say here as well, it is special for the family of the Prophet. There is nothing in this hadith to show that water is impure. The Shafi'is have a different opinion about this. They say the water is pure, but you can't do wudu with it. They say the water is pure, tahir, tahur, but not mutahhir. So the water is clean, but you can't only do wudu with it. You can cook with it, you can eat it, drink it, but you can't do wudu with it. And this is different opinion as well, which they have no, it contradicts the Quran, it has nothing in the usul, and so it shouldn't be taken. The water is clean if you do wudu. For those who say this, they have something that you have to consider, because they say if the water has gone from your body, when you wash your hand, for example, with water, when you can't use any remaining water, you can't use it to wash the other hand. As long as the water that you have used to wash the first hand, you can't use it to wash the second hand. Okay, you see, when you take water with your hand, the right hand, to wash your hand, you take first with your palm and you let it come down on the elbow, to the elbow, yeah? Now, it came from the palm of the hand. According to them, it became dirty, because you already washed the palm of your hand. So, it's going now down, and it is dirty. So you have to clean again your hand. So some of them came with the idea, they say, no, it doesn't become dirty until it goes out of the body. As long as it's on the body, it's clean. When it is gone from the body, it becomes dirty. That's mean, if you take a bath and then put your clothes on, the water that goes out of your body and touches the clothes become dirty, and then you have to take your clothes. If you wipe yourself with a towel, that towel you have to take to wash it, because it's dirty. all this is nonsense. Something, no, because there is no proof about it.
Maybe they mean because you cleaned your hand first, so it's not there.
No, they say if you clean your hand 100 times, every time you clean your hand, the water that you clean with is dirty. So the water, if someone takes a bath inside in water, and then goes out of that bath, that bath is clean. 100 people can jump in it, as long as it's not ghusl janaba. Ghusl janaba is haram for someone to take a bath for ghusl janaba. If he has to take ghusl janaba in bath, he must unplug it so the water starts running, because it is haram to take a bath in water that is still water, that doesn't run. So yeah, this is so about regarding this. And for the ghusl, about the difference between the girl and the boy, this is the madhab of Malik and Shafi'i. They don't see any difference between cleaning the urine of the girl of the boy. They say it should be washed this similar way. The Shafi'is and the Hanbalis say that there is difference between a boy and a girl as long as they have not eaten food. The Zahiris actually they have different opinion, which is wrong as well. They say they look at the difference between a man and a woman, a male and female. Doesn't matter they are young or old, or they say anything. So if it's like a camel, she-camel urine, you have to pour water on it, and if it's a camel, male camel, then you have to wash it. And we say that there is no, they don't do Qiyas here. They have a different hadith which is da'if that says male and female.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the hadith narrated by Asma bint Abi Bakr. The Prophet said regarding there is still time? Yeah. Narrated Asma bint Abi Bakr, the Prophet said regarding menstruation, the woman period blood. Menstruation blood that soils a garment, she should scrap it, rub it with water using her fingers, then sprinkle with water, then she may pray in it. This hadith here, you can see here what the Prophet say, sprinkle even the blood. That shows you that sprinkling, washing is all the same, as long as the najasa is gone away. The hadith says, the Prophet said regarding menstruation blood that soils a garment, she should scrap it, rub it with water, then sprinkle, then she may pray in it. Now this is about the blood. The Prophet said scrap it. Scrapping is for something that is
Scrape.
No. Scrapping is something that is hard, dry. Something that is dry. You don't scrap something that is wet. So here he's talking about the dry things. There is another hadith from Aisha, general, about washing the clothes. So if it's dry, she must first scrap it with her finger, and then with water. She must put some water and scrap it with it, and then afterwards, whether to put it in a washing machine or to continue clean it with her finger after she pours water, there is no anything to stop her from cleaning.
So is that do we have to do it in that order, then put it in a washing machine, or can you just throw it in a washing machine?
No, you can't just throw it in a washing machine. This is a special way to clean the garments. Yes. If it's dry, you have to first take the blood and then scrap it and rub it with water, and then you can clean it with.
Does it affect in any way if, for example, you've washed it, you've scraped it if it's dry, and then you've washed it, and the colour still remains? is it still pure? I mean, you know, sometimes you get colour that doesn't go.
Yes. This is the following hadith, which is da'if.
Okay.
We'll talk about this. Yeah. Narrated Abu Huraira. Narrated Abu Huraira. Khawla said, O Messenger of Allah, suppose the traces of blood does not go. He said, washing it with water will suffice you, and its traces won't harm you. This hadith is da'if. This hadith is the narration of Ibn Lahi'a, and he is da'if. He is not da'if according to the majority. The traces, the traces is blood, so you should try to clean proper until there is no trace. Where it doesn't go, then there is nothing you can do. Sometimes the color has no body. It's the difference between color and body is this. Have you seen the manicure of a woman? If she put it on her fingers, this will stop water going in. It has a body. Huh? If you try to take it off, you can take something that you can touch it with your hand. You can, but if you henna, for example, you have something on your hand, but you can't touch it, you can't see it, you can't take it. It has no body. Huh? When the blood, if it has a body, you have to take it, and then the color that remains, that is nothing. The color, the Muslims used to do for a long time, using colors that they extract from dirty things. We shouldn't. It's haram to do that. But then the color will stay, but it has no body. So it's the same thing as the blood. Yes.
Someone asked me about the pen. You get a pen mark and then you want to do a wudu.
Yes. It's the same thing. If you with your finger, with your nail, if you can touch, there is something you can touch. Sometimes when you do with your finger, something will come up. That is something that will prevent water going in. That you have to take it. But then there is sometimes it's just the color, ink. You clean it and then it stays. The color stays. Yeah. But when it's dirty, if there is the body, it will be haram. You have to take it. You have to take it as soon as possible. The other thing that I forgot to mention about when we spoke about the hadith, the Prophet, someone urinated on his lap and he called some water and cleaned it. That is something that we should do straight away. You shouldn't just take off the clothes and leave it for later. I will clean it later. Where there is dirt in your clothes, you have to wash it straight away. It is an obligation. It is religion. It's not like janaba. When you stand up for prayer, you do your ghusl. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ. Clean your clothes. The orders from Allah and the Prophet should be carried out where there is no timing, like janaba. If you stand up for prayer, do your ghusl. Here there is no timing, so you have to do it as soon as possible. If you can delay it one day, you can delay it a year. If someone gives you the authorization to delay it for a day, he can give you authority to delay it for 100 years. And when you die, Allah will ask you why you didn't do this order. He will not ask you why did you die. So it is an order. And the Prophet, you can see as well from the hadith, that the Prophet straight away called for water and poured it on his clothes. Yes.
So the cleaning of the woman's blood, the menstruation, is part for them to clean in this precise method. No?
Yeah. When it's dry, first rub it with the finger, with the nail, scrub it. Yes. Scrub it and then rub it with water.
So they have to first scrub with their finger,
yes.
scrape it,
yeah,
to whatever can come off.
Yes.
And then with the water to as much as can come off.
Yes, and then to sprinkle with water, or to throw it in. If you throw it in a washing machine, that is sprinkling with water.
No.
If it's not dry, that's a different story. You can wash it any way you want.
How's the sentence in Amr?
تحته ثم تقرصه. The thing here, if you know from, we have spoken about this last time, that the amr and insha, the khabar and insha. Khabar, sometimes
Can they come, inshallah?
The Arabs will give a statement, but they mean an order. This is not only on the Arabs, probably every language. Here in English, you go to the parking and see no parking on Friday. Doesn't say no parking on Friday. You can park on Friday if you want, but it's prohibited by their laws. I mean, it's an order not to park. It's same thing. This is khabar, meaning an order, like the Prophet when he says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he says Quran, وَلَنْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ سَبِيلًا لَا يَمَسُّهُ إِلَّا الْمُطَهَّرُونَ. This is in the language. It's something that is known from the language, Arabic language, and Quran is Arabic. And it's time for Aisha Adhan. So inshallah we'll continue next week. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت